Assalamu alaikum. Good to be talking to you again, courtesy this remarkable magazine that now seems to be going places that was long ago forecast by most of us among friends, that this magazine does have a tendency to grow purely on the merit of its performance. So, and I'm delighted to be talking to you through the pages of a magazine that certainly has built a lot of credibility. Pakistani assessment, I would say there are three types of operations that sum up Pakistan's situation right now. One operation relates to Karachi, the financial nerve center of Pakistan. The other operation relates to either the cooperation or the use of military force option that is being debated with regard to engagement with the Taliban. And the third operation, which is not generally talked about too much, relates to the state of the economy. Karachi, I think the operation so far has gone pretty well. There have not been any spectacular successes, just as well. Spectacular successes tend to be politically very controversial. I think Rangers as a force and federal government, partially and sometimes reluctantly, but still backed by the provincial government, have decided that they are not going to be all gung-ho about trying to cleanse Karachi. So the operations have been moving steadily. There have been noises of protest here and there. Obviously, a gangster's paradise, when you operate against that entire network, there will be people protesting. But as long as criminals are made to basically go through the rigmarole and rigor of the judicial process, and then eventually those found guilty are to be prosecuted properly and punished, I think there will be very few people who would be raising eyebrows on this count. Across the board is the word that needs to be kept in mind. I do foresee, after the creation of a new legal regime that gives law enforcement agencies fairly wide-ranging and important powers, the handing over of 5 police stations in 5 districts of Karachi under the joint supervision of police and the Rangers, and the commitment that the governments have shown so far, I think the next level of this operation is going to be fairly fast, if not furious. I would be keeping a watch on Karachi because what happens in Karachi does impact Pakistan decisively, and this being the financial nerve center of Pakistan, just to repeat myself. The second operation relates to the talks option that is being debated. All parties conference has been able to yield up a much awaited mandate to the federal government to talk to the Taliban. After that, there has been a phase which I have been finding somewhat difficult to nail down. I thought the government and the opposition would have been able to create some sort of a mechanism that they one could see and feel the construct of talks, so that we know which way these talks are going, who are the actors that they are engaging. But that seems to have been somewhat haphazard and done in a shoddy way. Anyways, so the talks have been moving apace. There are different levels at which the talks are being pursued. There are some certain individuals who are involved in these talks. There are certain political parties that are involved in these talks with the Taliban. I do not think that the government is dealing with Taliban as a monolithic or a unified group. Different groups are getting different types of emissaries as far as the government is concerned. What will happen later on? Will the talks will fail or succeed? The kind of conditionalities that Taliban have put together, I don't see the talks make much of a headway, especially when Taliban seem to think that they have an upper hand, and that is why they are looking at government's offer of talks to be a sign of weakness. But if talks do not make a headway, will this government be able to actually conclude and then take a decision on the basis of that conclusion that the talks have failed? Now it's time to gear up for the other option, the operations option. I have not yet seen that kind of a deep commitment as far as this government is concerned that will make it take that stand or say those words in case the talks do not succeed. I personally would like the talks to succeed, but at the same time I need to be realistic about it. This is not going to go very far, and we have seen this whole cycle of talks and operations repeat itself so many times in the past that there's too much empirical evidence pitted against the success of the talks. State of the economy is the most worrying sign. and of course operation in Karachi and the engagement with Taliban are twin factors influencing the state of the economy. The government has been able to borrow a lot of money from the IMF. Dollars has shot up in terms of how expensive it has become. Rupee has been shedding points consistently. There's some speculation that probably rupee in terms of parity will be 120 rupees per dollar as well. The Governor State Bank says that it is because of the interim phase in which we are trying to stabilize the economy, and rupee will be strengthened further. I hope it is true, but wide-ranging reforms have to be brought in. The government needs to decide about the perennial chronic problem of corruption. They have not been able to appoint National Accountability Bureau chief so far. You also have a problem with in terms of the incomplete cabinet. There is no defense minister, no foreign minister, no law minister, no communication minister. Prime Minister seems to be enjoying the sort of 9+ ministries that he has on his watch. There's no High Commissioner appointed yet in UK. There's no ambassador appointed in Washington. I don't think this is the right way to govern a complex country like Pakistan that has myriad problems, and we do not know what is cooking inside the head of Mian Mohammad Nawaz Sharif. When he wants to show the decisiveness, he moves with lightning speed. Look at the way he appointed the Governor of Punjab, plucked him out of UK, appointed him against all party opposition, and also all basic rules of decent appointments. Not that there's something indecent about the man, but the haste with which Mr. Nawaz Sharif has shown in appointing this governor shows that, one, he can make up his mind quickly, and two, when he makes up his mind, nothing moves him away from it. So why is he keeping the cabinet open-ended? Why do we not see wide-ranging economic reforms? That's a question to ponder. So these three operations, these three factors, to me, are the most important factors to look at when you want to see which way Pakistan is going to turn in the near future.